All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We are going into our co-main event of the evening. Let's get a little bit loud right about now. Let's hear from the Dean Bo Moskowitz people. Jarett Real Talk Conner. All right, here we go. Let's bring out our first fighter. He is making his way out to the cage. Dean Bo Moskowitz.
Yep, Dean Bo, I've had a lot of time to speak with him. Really young kid, but just he wants to be the best. So that's what he tells me. He wants to be a real pro fighter. He goes out to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and trains with some of the best in the world. Trains with John Dodson, Diego Sanchez. He's actually living with Cub Swanson right now. He's actually also he's been doing judo and karate since he was 4 years old. So him fighting a wrestler like Conner should be pretty well prepared for it.
Yeah, moving out to spending some time in Albuquerque, New Mexico at Team Jackson. Of course, another very famed coach, Greg Jackson. He said he moved there so needing some new training partners. He's been at House of Champions in Reseda for a long time, a place where we also saw his friend Darian DC Chapman come out victorious earlier tonight. Yeah. So that gym's starting to produce some really high-quality fighters.
No,
but unfortunately, they don't have the same numbers that he's looking for, hence him making the move out to New Mexico.
No, and the move out to New Mexico, it's mentally probably good to be around those fighters. You learn how they compose themselves. You're up at altitude. I've gone out there I'm good friends with John Jones, and I went out there and got to do some training out there. It's a great place to train. Good energy, good people out there, and just the right place to be for him.
You know, one of the interesting things about this fight tonight, though, is that Dean Bo has never faced a wrestler like his opponent, Jarett Real Talk Conner.
Well, we're gonna see if his judo and his training out with them works.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage, Jarett Real Talk Conner.
And his opponent for the welterweight title tonight, Jarett Real Talk Conner. The 21-year-old stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, fighting out of the orthodox position with a record of 2 wins and no losses from Upland, California, fighting with Pimpit Fight Team Academy. He's here after only 9.5 months of training. But his coach, Jarett Conner, says he's a good listener, and he better be if he wants to ride home tonight.
Well, that's probably true. Yeah, Jarett Conner, really good wrestler, fast takedowns. I think those are probably going to be his keys to win. If he can get some good takedowns, he's got great slams. So if he can slam Dean and end up in a good position, I think that's really going to help him. He's a sticky grappler. He doesn't really leave himself open for like sub attempts. If you watch Dean Bo's last couple fights, he wins by submission. So it's something Jarett has to be careful about. He has to be very sticky on top. Those big looping punches, you got to be careful because Dean Bo can throw some shots down the middle that can hurt him. But I think this is going to be a good bout.
I think that's the big question tonight, is how's Dean Bo Moskowitz going to go up against the powerful wrestling of Jarett Real Talk Conner? We don't know much about Jarett's striking game, but we know that Dean Bo's striking game is pinpoint accurate.
Yeah, I think his striking's pinpoint accurate. And in last fight, Dean Bo is the one kind of trying for the takedowns. And I think here he can kind of relax a little bit and kind of focus on his strike down and takedown defense rather than pushing the takedown. I don't think he's going to try to take down Jarett. I think he's going to be trying for striking and trying to defend the takedowns and work submissions. I think he's going to look better this fight because he's not going to try anything that's going to put him out of position.
This is the fight that Jarett Conner wanted. He was here at our last event, and he said, quote, when he heard all these people screaming his name, his referring to Dean Bo Moskowitz, man, I want to fight this guy. That's real talk.
It is. If you want to be the best, you got to fight the best. And people think Dean Bo is the best that we have in the University of Mixed Martial Arts fighting organization.
You know, as far as Jarett Conner's fighting evolution's gone, it began young in the streets as a young kid.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. Brought to you by WSS Shoes Style Selection. Fight is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds for the U of MMA vacant middleweight championship title. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist. He comes to the cage with a record of 2 wins, 1 loss. 2 wins coming by way of submission. He stands at 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighing at 169.4 pounds. Representing House of Champions and Aziz MMA from Encino, California, Dean Bo Moskowitz. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. Also a mixed martial artist. He brings a record of 2 wins, no losses to the cage. He stands at 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighing at 169.6 pounds. Fighting with Pimpit Fight Team from Upland, California, Jarett Real Talk Conner.
And now U of MMA president and head promoter Turi Altavia making it official for tonight's welterweight championship bout between Dean Bo Moskowitz in the blue corner.
All right,
Jarett
gentlemen, this is
Real
the
Talk
co-main
Conner
event
in
of
the
the
red.
meeting. Defend yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. If you're going to touch gloves, do it right now. Back to your corners.
Man in charge of the action, Mike Bell.
No glove touch today.
No love lost between these two guys. This will be an interesting first big step up in terms of a test for Dean Bo Moskowitz. Dean Bo looking a lot more mobile than we've seen him in his last few fights. Really on his bike.
Well, a couple months training out of Albuquerque, you definitely got to pick up some speed going with guys like John Dodson. You have to be moving to catch up to that guy. Conner trying a jab overhand right combination.
Dean Bo patient, picking his spots with that outside low kick.
There's the takedown. Impressive power and takedown ability.
We talked about that wrestling power, those slams.
Watch out for the
Jarett Conner.
suplex. Impressive wrestling. Ultra impressive. I'm thoroughly. He's gonna give up his back though.
Well, and here's where we see that there's no real competitive wrestling background in Jarett Real Talk Conner. Sure, he's exceptionally powerful. The guy is a fantastic athlete, but now we're seeing Dean Bo Moskowitz possibly transitioning towards the back due to being a more experienced
We
grappler.
might see a weird type of sweep here. There's like this rear-headed sweep you could do. He's gonna lose the arm though, but it's somewhat of a powerful move if he could do it. I think that's what he's gonna try, but if he can pop his hits up, he could throw Dean Bo over the top.
Dean Bo trying to put pressure on that elbow to get his head out of that position so that...
Really strong on Conner.
And there goes Dean Bo Moskowitz taking the back.
But with under 10 seconds left. Now that's gonna be Jarett Conner's saving grace. And there we have it.
What a fantastic first round. We have never seen anyone put it to Dean Bo Moskowitz like this in here. And that's, again, the power we talked about behind Jarett Real Talk Conner.
Now, how do we really score that when, you know, Dean Bo was behind Jarett Conner, but Jarett Conner just held his head, and Dean Bo didn't really get a chance to do much to the last 5 seconds.
I think you really have to score that off the first half of round one, which is those big slams.
Yeah.
3 big slams from Jarett Conner.
Yeah, dominant wrestling, really good strikes on top, and just, you know, never. Even though Jarett Conner was on the bottom, he really wasn't in any danger to the last couple seconds, and even then he looked pretty much fine.
Again, it's very interesting, the wrestling of Jarett Conner. Never had competitive wrestling experience. In PE at recess, they would have slam wrestling competitions where they'd go out to the field and they would just, whoever can slam somebody else wins.
So I'm assuming he won, right?
And for doing PE rules, absolutely. Well, can Jarett Conner make round 2 another recess fight, or is Dean Bo Moskowitz going to use that high-level training to take control? Let's see here in round number 2. Jarett again tries to elevate. This time, Dean, though, doing a decent job of avoiding, but he gives up his back. And look at that roll for Dean Bo Moskowitz. Looking for a straight knee bar here. Really tight straight knee bar, but those punches to the ribs coming from Jarett Conner.
He's going to get out of this knee bar, it looks like.
I think Dean took a moment there going, how the hell are you not tapping to this? But is it possible that Jarett Conner's punching himself out here?
He's defending correctly, and he's out. He's got a sprawl. See, that's the only thing I don't see. He doesn't have that in-between wrestling. The sprawl and the knowingness to get your hips engaged. It's just something he lacks.
Dean Bo looking to reverse position here, but leaving himself open to a potential guillotine, but doesn't look like Jarett Conner's going for it. And now a nice single leg.
Now this is where you might see a little bit of fish out of water here. He just fell right back into mount. So I think Jarett Conner's the type of guy that can hold on and probably bridge and get himself out of this.
Now the question, though, is with the kind of pounding that Dean Bo's ribs just took, what does he have left in the tank to take advantage of this mount position?
You know, body shots in an MMA fight, especially those, you're not going to feel those till afterwards. You know, they may have done some damage, but Dean Bo is not thinking about that. He's thinking about finishing this fight now, which I don't think he's gonna.
Dean Bo moving for that high mount. You gotta wonder if he's gonna transition to a submission or just throw some punches at this late time.
A little bit of sloppiness in that transition there. You know, pretty much a Dean Bo round there.
You got to give that to Dean Bo. I wouldn't give it as big of an advantage to Dean Bo in this round as I give it to Jarett, though, in round number 1.
No, well, similar. You know, he's really tight knee bar. That was actually a pretty close knee bar. Depends on how these judges even think if that was close or not. You know, if they thought that was a fight ender or not. And then he outpositioned him at the end, had him mounted, and then, you know, almost had his back at the end.
You know, this, I think, is where we're going to see what these guys are made of. The trials that Jarett went through in this last round, defending that knee bar, taking those punches, and Dean Bo having that moment where he's going, how the heck are you not tapping to this submission? And we're going to really see a lot of where that mental training has come into play.
I honestly think this fight's going to be won in this next 20 seconds to start this round, is if Jarett Conner can get a takedown into a dominant position, or can Dean Bo defend a takedown and end up putting himself in a dominant position.
I'd love to see Dean Bo let his hands go a little bit right here and try to control this game on the feet.
I think Connor's mistake was trying to kick before. Now he took him down. He's got himself in the side. He just has to be careful. He puts his head in the wrong positions, Conner. He makes minor mistakes that just lead to sweeps and.
You can see Dean Bo really trying to move his hips out to create some opportunity.
Now, Connor's doing a good job. He's just staying wide. He's got a very strong base, So he can kind of keep his hips against Dean Bo's hips and maintain the position.
And Dean Bo going for another small ride. And again, Dean Bo rolling under to under for that knee bar.
He's got to be careful because he's going to leave his face wide open. See, this is what, see, even though he's so powerful on these takedowns, his takedown defense looks minuscule. It looks inexistent, like right there.
And let's see if Dean Bo can turn this single leg into an advantage he can use to win this final round.
He has to. For Dean Bo to win, he has to pop his head up and be able to take Jarett Conner's back. You know, strong wizard by Conner. This is where Conner's strong. If Conner drops it on a leg, this is what...
Every time Dean throws that punch, Jarett Conner's ducking under and going for that double or single.
That's what's going to win him the title right now, is those takedowns. You know, powerful, powerful wrestling.
You know, I've seen a lot of grimacing on the face here of Dean
Maybe
Bo.
some rib damage or something.
I think those body shots did more than we thought in that second round.
There's the fight. We're going to have a new champion no matter what. But we have a tired Jarett Conner.
Wow, the strength of Jarett Conner is so impressive. What a powerful young man. Both guys really respectful, sharing a nice hug in the middle.
That's always fun.
A really good pair of young men.
Yeah, both have some bright futures. Young dudes, 21 and 19, fighting for a title of an amateur organization. You know, that's where you want to be. Obviously, you want to be winning, but you know, you want to be in that position. Get used to that. Get used to fighting for titles where they don't phase you and they let you stick to your game plan.
Now, of course, the slams were the difference. If it does turn out that Jarett Conner won this fight, those slams definitely were the difference.
100%.
What do you do with Dean Bo Moskowitz? Where's the tweak that you'd make to avoid that kind of power and change?
Well, power like Jarett Conner has, I don't even see very often. You know, I don't see that very often. You know, that's tough to defend. You know, you have to have strong hips. You know, and you just have to train with more wrestlers, get used to the scrambling, and get used to just position. If you get taken down, it's not the end of the world. But Jarett Conner, I think, no matter what, was going to take down Moskowitz. There was nothing he could have done in the last few months that was going to stop those takedowns.
What do you do to avoid that elevation?
Spread your legs, put your hips in, try to break the posture, push the head down, try to break the hands, whizzer, put the guy in danger. It's a lot. I wrestled my whole life, and I still think Conner might be able to put me in the air. But it's also what you do when you hit the mat. You hit the mat, pop back up, that type of stuff. You don't sit there and go for submission. You hit the mat, you bounce back up, you make the wrestler re-engage and scramble again.
Now, that's where this gets really, really interesting. If this turns into a 5-minute fight or even a 3-minute fight rather than a 2-minute fight.
Well, if this was a 5-minute fight, this was a pro MMA fight, I think Moskowitz would have probably TKO'd him because we ended that first round with Moskowitz in full mount, but the round ended. And round 2 ended with, again, a dominant position of mount. So, he was going to get positioning, but the advantage was these new round starts, and Jarett Conner got to be put back on his feet and in the position where he can get takedowns. You don't have that option every day. You have to fight. You have to go a little deeper into waters with the guys in pro MMA fights.
Again,
they only fought 1 minute longer than one round of a pro MMA fight, so it would not have been the same way.
Well, again, we've talked about the scoring a lot tonight. This is where it gets interesting. I think there's a pretty strong argument for Dean Bo winning round 2. Round 1 is really where you never know how someone's going to score that with Dean Bo being in that pseudo back position for that second half. I'd probably put that first round towards Jarett Conner.
Totally.
You never know how someone's going to see it from a certain angle.
No, and the third round is the one that won. Is really the one that won the fight. Like in my eyes, the takedowns, and he got 2 really good takedowns. When he needed them, when Jarett Conner needed the takedowns, he got them, and that's what won the fight.
Well, Well, now for our official decision, let's hear from Salvador Ariana.
After 3 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. First judge scores a fight 29 to 28.5, 29 to 28, 29 to 28. All in favor for your winner by unanimous decision and new U of MMA middleweight champion, Jarett Real Talk Conner!
Jarett, congratulations, champ. How you feeling?
I feel real good. I feel excellent. I feel way better now I got the belt.
So, you know, J-Tan was having a hard time finding an opponent for Dean Bo, and your coach came to him and said, I got your guy. And you came in, and the word of the night is suplex. Where did those come from?
Well, I'll get to Debo first. I was here March 3rd to watch my boys lay it down. Chris Reyes lay it down. And then I saw this guy, Debo. He came in, he was a beast. And in my head, I'm like, I want to fight this guy. And then when they said his weight was 170, I was like, and I didn't tell nobody. And then my coach came to me and was like, you want to fight for the belt? And he said, Debo. I was like, oh, okay.
So I want to fight.
Yeah. I want to fight the best, and Debo's the best. The suplex, all the takedowns came from my coach. He told me what to do, and I executed. I didn't finish how I wanted to finish, but I'm happy that, you know, I got the belt.
You got the hardware. Congratulations.
Thank
You
you.
want to say something to all your family and friends?
First, I want to thank God for allowing me to see you today and let me and my opponent walk out safely. My mom and Greg, thank you guys for coming. I feel real good because my mom and my dad both came. My dad came from Vegas. I love you, Dad. Shout out to my teammates, Pimpit. My teammate, Kevin the Boom Bostic, won last night's pro fight. I'm very happy for him. Chris Reyes is going to make his pro debut August 10th. And Ruben Quinones, he's 2-0, 2 knockouts. He's going to fight for the belt at Mansions. I'd like to thank my coach. I have the best coach ever. I've only been trained for 9 months. I have no experience in anything. So, you know, he created a little beast going on. I'd like to thank all my family and friends for coming out and supporting me. Thank you, guys. I love you guys.
Woo! Your welterweight champion! Give it up for him, Jarett Conner!